translator and a teacher of foreign languages. I graduated from the Moscow Institute of Foreign Languages in 1988 in the Soviet Union. Then, for 4 years, I worked as an anchor person for the Russian state television, hosting several TV programs. After that, I worked for an American company, for an American channel. But after a certain time, I understood that I can combine. I can combine two approaches. I can be both a translator and a person who works with movies. So in 1999, I started translating movies and documentaries for television. And we were one of the first companies which in 2001 launched the DVD translation of subtitles for DVDs. At that time it was something new, something very innovative. Remember it was 2001. In 2006 I graduated from the New York Film Academy as a film director and integrated that experience into our courses as well. That's how we came to teach script writing 101, because I understood that this was the element that was missing, that the translators do not understand what the concept of a story is about. Any movie, any program is always a story. And people do not understand that. They usually tend to perceive it as something different, not as a story. So this is my background. This is how I came to head the Department of Translation of RuFilms, and that's how I came to develop the curriculum. That's why we managed to develop the curriculum that was adopted by 11 Russian universities. We have long-standing relations with 4 of them. We teach 6-month courses over there. But usually the main format now is the short format, because it's actually more like promoting the very concept of audiovisual translation, because in Russia it is quite new for Russians. We are in that respect, we're about 10 years behind the rest of Europe, because in Europe the development of the concept of audiovisual translation started in the late 90s, in 1995, 1996. I mean scientific development, not the efforts to translate, but it was, and in our country it started in mid-zeros, I mean 2005, 2006, that's when we came in. But the academic communities, the academia is starting to respond to our calls only now, because we received the feedback from Russia just today. There was a conference about teaching languages, and they, without us participating, they spoke a lot about audiovisual translation. So we are catching up.
And from your point of view, which was the turning point of this necessity of Russia to start to do this? Which was, if I have to look from historical point of view.
What was the starting point? You see, in Russia, the history of audiovisual translation is very complicated in Russia, because Russia used to be, before 1991, Russia used to be a dubbing country. We had the school of dubbing, I mean lip-sync dubbing. No subtitling, no voiceovers. In the Soviet Union, all foreign movies were dubbed. It was a painstaking process, and there were great specialists doing that job, but it was a kind of it was handicraft, because these people were not trained, like geniuses who came out of nowhere, well, translators who had an aptitude for that job. But there were not so many films to be translated. In 1991, the influx of foreign movies, programs became so huge, and that the dubbing school collapsed. It was not requested anymore because it was expensive, it took too long, and Russia became the voiceover country. The voiceovers were produced by amateurs, a lot of amateurs, without observing any rule, but it was a response to the influx of foreign programming. People wanted more and more and more, and they didn't care who. It's actually who did that, because it was actually something like modern fan subs or fan dubs that are done at home. In 1995, 1996, the audience became more sophisticated and they got back to asking for dubs, for subtitles, and but the school was gone. This school of talented professionals was gone. And 4 years of uncontrolled expansion of voiceover literally killed it. And so we, in 1999, it's actually the starting point of the rebirth of the system. So we are now in the 17th year of the rebirth of the system, and now we have Netflix coming to our market, requesting more and more specialists in subtitling. Amazon TV, Amazon Prime TV coming to our market. They want a lot of lip sync dubbing to be done, and there are more platforms that request more and more professional translations of audiovisual products. For example, Netflix, in all his Netflix, the head of Netflix, in several interviews underlined that he wanted subtitles to be translated in a very good way, because these are masterpieces. He called subtitles literary masterpieces. We want our subtitles to be really real literary masterpieces, no matter what language they are in, Russian, Italian, English, whatever, but they have to be done in a very good language. It broke the overall tendency to use machine translation and all that stuff. It raised the well, actually, the industry needed more and more translators who could translate, not just edit machine translation. So it is a good, it is a very good, I should say, development in the industry.
The mainstream cinema was born with Hollywood in a certain way, no? So with the American distribution. Before it, during the Cold War, how was the situation of, or the necessity of this kind of industry and necessity in Russia?
You see, before, during the Cold War, the selection of foreign movies to be demonstrated in Russia was decided at the level of the State Committee on Cinematography. They had a special panel which determined which movies to buy, which languages. That's why there were very many Italian films, French films, because we had good working relationships with filmmakers in Italy, in France, and very few movies were purchased in the United States as compared to the current situation. So it was decided at the state level. It was not the market demand, but they were so brilliantly done that each of them became a masterpiece. And really, a selection of for the purchase was done by professionals. These were not the worst movies. These were not class B. Those were class A. And sometimes our State Committee on Cinematography even purchased Oscar-winning movies from the United States, but it was not obligatory, I should say. The market forces came into full force in 1991. They started determining what people wanted to watch. And there was no more State Committee on Cinematography, just we had the freewheeling import of movies, no matter what the movies were about. Blue movies, movies about love, soap operas from Brazil, whatever. It was anything they could grab was actually brought into the country. It was chaos. Well, for example, Italian and French cinematographers missed this moment because they could push a lot of content into the Russian market using the channel that they already had, but due to some circumstances, they didn't act fast, and the Americans jumped in. Right now, the situation